Okay, so what we have here is the CP4 that came with my 1100 GTO mount, November of 2015. And on the right we have the one that came with my 1600 GTO mount, August of 2018. So as you look at the back sides, there are no holes drilled in any corner. This is the bottom of the units. There's no holes drilled. Now, my buddy, he's got a Mach 1 from around 2008-9-ish or so. And I had one from 2007, a Mach 1. I believe it was 2007. And I can't say if it did. I just honestly don't remember if it had holes. But as you can see, these don't. Now I'm just assuming the holes were for moisture to escape. Should moisture get in? I really can't say. But as you can see, these two don't have it. And I'll show you here a picture that I had my buddy send to me. He texted me some pictures, so I'll show you next what they look like. Okay guys, this is what I'm talking about. As you're looking at this picture, the bottom of the case is here along where the cursor is. Same thing with this side. This is the bottom. Now you can see the hole right here in relationship to the corner and the bottom. That was a close-up picture that my buddy took. And then here you see the hole here and the hole here. So what I'm going to do today is put some holes, not on the back side, but down along the bottom of this case to the CP4 here. And because when they're in the mount, they're setting like that, vertically. So any moisture that would get on here would be going down, and since it's sitting like that, if there was anything in there, I'd prefer it to be in the bottom and not on the back. So now I've never had a problem, and again I can't say as to why Astro Physics had them in it one time and they're not there now. I don't know, but I thought, well, looking at that, I think I'm gonna go ahead and put some holes in it. Can't hurt. And because you know, I've gotten nights where it's so much moisture that it just, you could almost take the water off and wash your car with it. There's that much. So but that's what we're going to give a try. To do this job, you're going to need a 1/16 and a 3/32 inch hex bit, and I'm going to use these small ones here, 1/4 inch shanks. And I'll just use them in my little small snap-on adapter here. For something this small, you don't put a lot of torque on them, and this will work just great. I'm going to take out these 4 top on this piece that's sticking up. I'm going to take those out, and that's going to require a 3/32 hex. Now I put some paper towels down on here so as not to, when I move this stuff around, so nothing scratches. Now I'm going to carefully remove this, lift it up, and just see what we got here. Okay, so there is a small connector up here to that antenna, and I believe I am not going to touch that. Just going to leave that damn thing connected. If anybody is interested in those bolts that I just took out, there's the diameter, about 110 thousandths, and it's 40 threads per inch. The length of that bolt is 3/4 of an inch. So this would be a 440. 440 bolt, 3/4 of an inch long is what, if you lost one, that's what you would need. Next I'm going to take out these 4 corner bolts, and those are going to require a 1/16 inch hex. Okay, now guys, this is important here. On the left side, we had 2 bolts that are this size, this length, and on the right side, you have 2 that are shorter. Shorter ones on the right side, the longer ones are on the left. So, all 4 of these bolts are also, they're 440s. The longer ones here on the left side are 3/8 of an inch long. The shorter ones on the right side are 1/4 inch long. Okay, so next we have 3 socket head cap screws that have to come out, and they require a 3/32 Allen. So I happen to have a 3/32 Bondus driver. Now you could use the a regular Allen wrench, the 90-degree Allen type wrench, but I think this is going to work just fine, because it obviously you can't get something like this in there, okay, and this being a longer arm on it, plus it's got the ball end, and it allows you to be on a bit of an angle. So we're going to give this a try. Yep, works fine. So we've got, I'm going to assume that this is all anchored to the board, so when we pull this out, it should all come out as one piece, and I don't want to screw with this connector. So what I'm going to try to do is just take this piece and just lift it up back. Alright, so those 3 screws that I took out, those were 440s. Okay, it's a 440, 1/4 inches long. And what you've got on there also is a small washer and like an internal locking type washer. That's what I think I would call that, an internal. So the regular flat washer went on first, and then this locking type internal washer went on next. So that locking washer went up against the piece here. So you'd have, if you dropped them, you'd have the bolt here, then you'd have the flat washer that would go on next, and then your star washer here. Again, the star washer goes up against the metal there. Well, let's see what we got here. I'm gonna see how this lifts out. Okay, excellent. And then I'm just going to take this very carefully and just lay it like that. Okay, just lay her down so as not to disturb that connector. That's to that Wi-Fi antenna. That was one small ass connector. I didn't want to screw with that at all. So let's look at the case. Alright, so there's the serial number. So the serial number is to the right side. And it's got, I'm not sure what these are for. Oh, I'll bet those act as little push things. Probably, because you can see they're an Allen head. They're probably there to maybe push up against that so that these don't make contact with the aluminum case. I'm going to assume that. Then you've got something here too. So that's what that's the assumption I'm going to make, and I'm not going to touch those. And you know what? You know, this is interesting. Well, check this out. I didn't know that, but now that I've got it apart, look at the back side here. These are actual freaking plugs on this. This is the one that came with my 1600. I'm going to have to pull the 1100 out. These are actual little rubber plugs. And when I looked, I thought they were like little feet. And I couldn't figure out why there was none at the top. But actually, these are plugs with the holes. So this one does have holes, and it's got the rubber plug in there. Well, that's pretty damn interesting. So that's right in that corner. And what's interesting is that if water did get in here, it should slope to that corner, and right in that milled recess there should escape. So that's quite interesting. I did not know that when I did this. Again, I figured that those were just little glued on rubber frickin' feet. Unbelievable. Well, now I'm not sure what I'm going to do here, if I want to drill any in the bottom or not. Let's go get the one from the 1100 and see what that looks like. Okay, so this is the bottom side. So this one does not have it. So the one from 2015 that came with the 1100 does not have that. So this would be the one then I probably would want to drill. Okay, quite interesting. But I'll tell you what, since I do have this apart, I still think that I'm going to put a couple holes. Probably, I don't know here. I don't know if because those look like really small holes. I'm not sure if I want to. Let me pull a plug out if I can here. And there it is. So there's the little plug, little rubber plug that was pushed in there. So now you can get a better idea with that out. That hole is right down in that corner. So it's right snug in that radius. So I guess I'm going to call that good. I guess I'll call that good. So one thing I want to show you, obviously there's always a reason when Astro Physics does something. See these little milled out parts in there? These little milled out features? I thought, what the hell are those for? So I took a look at this, and there's a reason for that, and I'll show you. I think what I'm going to do here, I've thought about it for a bit. I'm going to leave those holes as is. I think those will be fine. And, you know, I don't know. If I want to drill some here, I think I'm going to call those good right there. But there's a reason why, and I'll show you. If you take a look here, those milled recesses were because of the locking nuts for those connectors. For the auxiliary connector, the keypad, and the 12-volt DC, that allowed those then to not hit the case. Okay guys, I haven't had too much time to think about this. I've got it apart. I've decided to go ahead and drill some holes. So the holes are, again, this is how the piece would be. This is the right side, this is the left side. As the unit's facing you, obviously this is going to be the bottom. So as this is apart from this top surface, I went down 5/16 of an inch and made a line, marked that with my machinist square, 5/16 from this top point, and made a line. Then from the left side, I'm gonna put a hole at 3/4 of an inch from this side, and 1 3/8 inches from the right side. So what I've done is I've taken a prick punch, which is basically like a center punch, except it's got more of a steeper angle. It's a little more of a point. It's made for like light tapping and marking. I just decided to use this to be a little more precise in this aluminum case. And so I made a point for me to drill at. Now, the reason I put masking tape on is, for one, to be able to see the pencil line. And if this was the white case, you'd play all kinds of hell getting off that pencil. Pencil is it's unbelievable how hard it is to clean. When I was a carpenter, I always took masking tape. If I was working on something, say aluminum soffit, or doing something that I needed to make a layout, I always would put masking tape down, do all my layout on the masking tape, make my marks, you know, make my center points, whatever I needed. Then you pull the masking tape off, and you don't have to worry about cleaning up any pencil. And there you can see it. You pull that off, and you've got the 2 points that you're going to need to drill. So that's just a little something. I do that all the time with masking tape. And you always want to use a good quality masking tape. If I'm laying out something on the wall to hang pictures, and I make any marks, masking tape. Make your marks, put your stuff in there, pull the tape off, and it's clean. Alright, so I drilled 1/4 inch holes. And what I did is, when you get a little burr, I just used a router burr on the outside to clean that up, and just a little small file just to clean up any burrs left on the inside. And very importantly, blew everything off, all sides of the case. Inside, blew everything off with an air compressor to make damn sure there were no chips. Alright, so let's put it back together. And you can see where that case, I'm just seeing that now right here. You can just see where the point of that little set screw down here was hitting here. I don't know what that was for, but you can see where the point hits right there. That was that little set screw right there in the case. Now we want to make sure that when you put these that little bolt back in, that you have all the washers attached, as stated earlier. And of course, it's not going to be as easy getting in as it was getting out. Hard to get your damn hand in there. Well, let's see here. Okay guys, gotta tell you, these three, putting them back together was a complete pain in the ass. I ended up having to tip the box and then, you know, shift it around, and so they're not tight. I've got them started. Okay, I didn't tighten anything down, and I also have these screws started, nothing tightened. Okay, and I think what I'm gonna do is tighten these down. Okay, so those are tight. Now I'm going to go ahead and tighten these down. Okay, so now we're going to put the other thing on, the top piece. But just for curiosity's sake, I see that this does swivel on there. I'm not sure, I didn't take it off, so, but you can see that swivels. So that allows you, when I had to do stuff like this to get these started and turn it this way, it does swivel. So let us put this back, and you want to make sure that we don't pinch that cable. And let me make damn sure here. There it is. And there's the two holes that I did not know were actually in there to begin with, because again of these little small plugs that they have. Okay, just some other things to think about. Now, all my mounts, the Mach 1, the 1100, that I still have the 1100, and then the 1600, they're vertical, just as you see here. I know there was like the 1200 and I think the 900 where it sat on an angle. Not quite sure what it was, 30, 40 degrees. And but obviously you get nights where there's so much moisture that settles on everything. I mean, you could wash your car with it. And I've never had a problem. I've never had a problem. But it doesn't hurt to look ahead. And I was just checking some of these gaps here. I was getting anywhere from 20 to 16 thousandths, the feeler gauge. 20 thousandths around here, about 16 here. And I don't know if I should put some sealer on it. Probably just leave well enough alone. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Especially with the holes that I've got in there in the bottom. If I'm at a remote location and I get a lot of dew, everything gets packed away. When I come home, everything comes out. Little stuff like this will sit on my stove. I've got a glass top stove. Bring it in the house. I'll set it on there or the table. Some of this little stuff I just put on the stove. Hell, I don't use the stove, so may as well use it for something. And make sure it all dries out before I pack it away, you know. And if I'm at the house, the same thing. I'm going to be out here tonight. It's nice and clear. And we get moisture. It goes in the house. It dries. Then I'll put it away in the cases. Just something to think about. Don't know if these have O-rings behind them, these round connectors. And any of this stuff, I'm not really sure. Don't know if they've had issues with them. I don't really know if Astro Physics has had issues with moisture getting in them. But like I said, I never have. Doesn't hurt to be proactive though. And I just kind of rekindled it when my buddy, we were talking about his the CP for his Mach 1. And again, I was very surprised. I don't know why the light bulb didn't go off when I saw those. I thought there were just little feet on the back side of here. As we see today, those were plugs. They actually did have holes in this unit. And since I had it apart, I thought, what the hell? Let me go put some more holes in there. And if nothing else, if you guys want to do that, or at least you see how the inside of this is done, and if you ever want to take it apart, you kind of know the order in which to do it. Hope the video helped.